Since it's been a while, I figured, let's look at a game that we've been waiting a while for. Resident Evil 2 Remake. I remember when the RE1 remake came out in like 2002 thinking, wow, that was fucking cool. I wonder when RE2 remake's gonna come out. Well, 17 fucking years later, here we are. Let's check it out. Since we've been waiting 17 years, we may as well wait a little longer. In order to do a proper compare and contrast, I decided to break out the old PlayStation and play the original. I feel like RE2 is really where the core audience got drawn into the series. Compared to RE1, this game seemed to have a lot more market penetration. It also expanded on a world that it's safe to say most of the zombie genre games that followed afterwards borrowed something from it. I hope you didn't miss your chance to win a part in the 1998 movie. I guess those movies did eventually come out as the ones with Mila Jovovich. What's kind of weird is that they originally got a script from George Romero, and they turned it down. This game lets you play as either Claire Redfield or Leon Kennedy, depending on which disc you put in. For this video, I did a Leon A and Claire B scenario. One of the things that sticks out in people's minds is that you start in the streets getting attacked.
You're gonna have to start getting scared immediately.
They don't even give you a second to learn the controls. It's just my third law. Fuck you. Well, wait. I'm having trouble with the controller, too. Must be from all that beer I spit into the controller playing Death by Degrees. It's basically the exact same situation, too. Shit comes full circle, I guess. Now that I have the controller problem worked out, let's really dive in here. I gotta say, these graphics are really PlayStation, and that's a good thing. Looking at the environments gives me that Final Fantasy VII nostalgia that only the original PlayStation can capture. The settings here really draw you into the survival horror. Makes you wonder why they didn't just hop in this DeLorean and go back in time a few months. Or maybe they did.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Harris!
Easily the location most associated with this game is the police station. Claire's trying to find her brother Chris, and Leon's hoping no one notices that he's late on his first day.
Yeah.
The police station, like the rest of Raccoon City, has been overrun with zombies, and thanks to the murderous, rapist, asshole police chief, has been carefully locked and disrupted with endless puzzles. I always remember this one with the statues in the red gym, or lowering this ladder. Who doesn't love a little plug insertion from time to time? The only thing more old-school Resident Evil than a crank is pushing a bunch of boxes around. A lot of these puzzles don't just succeed in getting you from one place to the next, they also really help build the atmosphere. While this genre of game has mostly vanished, I do miss the puzzle solving. It gets you really immersed into the world, and it makes you think about the items you're carrying. Of course, you have to deal with some off-screen item-ass fuckery too. Why is it always shotgun shells? This game has the classic tank controls, basically like combat for the Atari. My only gripe with it is the lack of a quick turn. It's like going back and playing the original Sonic the Hedgehog and remembering that you can't do a spin dash yet. Ugh. Sometimes I did have problems lining things up. Fuck. Push the statue. Just push the fucking statue. Just push it. It's like the opposite of Breath of the Wild when you're running around getting chased in the rain and Link has to grab onto everything in sight. Fuck. It also would have been nice if the combine tile was the second one that came up. That would have saved me a lot of trouble. Sometimes the game wouldn't let me use an item, even if I was only off by a couple of pixels. Like here, how far did I move? Barely at all. Oh, but now it's fine. Those are a few minor problems. Really more aggravating than anything. Now what I find really strange about this game are the characters and the cutscenes. This scene is probably one of the most iconic cutscenes of the 1990s. The first time you see a licker. I remember the first time I saw this, I was like, oh shit, how the fuck do I kill that thing? But something I just can't get past is Leon's reaction. Oh boy. I'm sorry, one more time. Oh boy? What is he, fucking Mickey Mouse? He sounds excited, like he heard a fire truck blast its horn at a parade. Or this scene when she finds Birkin after he got lit the fuck up.
Stop. You might hit the sample.
William. Oh my. Hold on, darling. I'm taking care of that bullet wound first.
Wait, do you see how many bullet holes he has in him?
You might hit the sample.
I'm taking care of that bullet wound.
Yeah, just go give him some Neosporin ointment and tell him to quit being a little bitch. But hey, that bitch can't even spell her own name, so once her and Anna sort that shit out, I'm sure it'll be fine. Even Claire has her moments.
What's the matter? Don't you trust me?
She doesn't fucking know you, and her parents are batshit nuts. She should have some trust issues. There's also some classy moments, if only they knew rule number 31. This scene with Chief Irons is pretty good, but they could have revved it up a little bit. Oh my god, they're eating me! It feels like my dick is jammed in a queasel! I can feel myself turning into poop! Leon also seems confused on what a sniper is. Net runs off and Ada chases her. She's like 25 feet behind her and then blam!
Ada went after the sniper.
Dude, you're in a concrete hallway. I think that's just called a shooting. All in all, this game is pretty solid, and considering their time, I think a lot of the cutscenes hold up fairly well. There aren't a lot of major differences between the first and the second playthrough, but there's enough to make it interesting. The biggest change in the second playthrough is the Tyrant, but I'll talk more about him later. There are times when the decisions you make in the first playthrough can affect you on the second time around. This fingerprint door near the end was so far into the game that it didn't really feel all that helpful. I do find it funny that it lets you choose to take both items in the armory. It's like Disaster Report when you can choose to leave your partner behind just to be a dick. There are a few times in this game when you get to have a partner character with you, and you even swap places with them during the story. Claire pairs up with Sherry, and Leon teams up with Ada Wong. I think we can all agree that the section with Sherry is pretty annoying. Ada's section is a bit better, but it's still disruptive to the flow of the game. I do have to give Ada's character some credit. Ever play a game where you have an NPC and it feels like they do nothing? Well, that's not Ada. She'll destroy everything on screen with extreme prejudice. Seriously, you just fire one shot and she's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, give me some of this shit. You're like, wait, you want some of this shit? And she's like, oh fuck yeah, this is a 10-man have a sheet metal cock. Die, motherfucker! Claire never gets any support like that. All I got was zombie Tommy Wiseau's man-ass in my face.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Of course, a major part of this game is the arsenal. You can pick up a shotgun fairly early on, and it's one of the best weapons for headshotting zombies. Headshots for sale. Get your headshots straight to the brain. How about you, son? Want to get your brains blown out? I guess so. How about you doing today? Come on close, and you're dead. Claire gets the bowgun, which is pretty powerful here compared to Code Veronica's. The SMG is nice for small enemies and if you want to save some ammo, or it's just as fun to dump the magazine into a boss. Grenade launcher is Claire's go-to power weapon and can work against most enemies. Another cool thing about this game are the deaths. For being PS1 graphics, some of these deaths are pretty intense. I'm a little rusty these days, so I got the "you died" screen a little bit more often than I used to. Fuck, how many bullets did I put in that dog? He just gets up again. Keep on. Okay, I'll just keep shooting you, motherfucker. Yeah, no, okay, it's fine. I'll just keep blasting it. Jesus, fuck. And what the fuck? Okay, and I'm dead. Great. And that motherfucker helps himself to my jugular. What more can I say? This game is textbook classic survival horror. Now let's check out the remake on the PS4. I did a Claire A, Leon B scenario. I do have pretty much all the cool guns unlocked, but I'm going to avoid using them with Claire, except for the infinite knife. But with Leon, anything goes. Also bear in mind, I'm playing this on hardcore, and this game means it. These zombies are nightmare bullet sponges. Like, you can warm one of these guys up with a knife thinking you'll tenderize them a little bit, and then pop a few of them into their face and they're like, nah, I'm cool. And you're like, okay, well that was a little excessive. I guess I'll put a few more on him. And then he's like, what, bitch? Is that all you fucking got? And you're like, oh, are you serious, dude? And then you dump another fucking magazine in him. And then he just laughs like, yeah, cute. And then he fucking comes after you and still grabs you, motherfucker! And they're hard enough to kill when you can land your shots, but they bob and weave all over too. Even the characters start swearing and cursing because they can't fucking kill them. Damn it! That's probably what I sound like when I'm swearing at the TV, because they won't fucking die. Even with the unlocked SMG, it doesn't even stun them, motherfucker! I eventually said if putting 30 bullets in these fucks doesn't work, then I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. These are standard zombies. They don't die. So be prepared if you play hardcore to use a lot of ammo or do a lot of knifing. If you think these guys are nuts for standard zombies, I haven't even started on stronger enemies or bosses. Lickers are terrifying as Leon. You have to bring your A game every time. Look at this. I have to line up 3 precision headshots, and it still only barely flinches him for a second before he dies. Minigun doesn't even slow this guy down. He's still attacking right through getting shot 1,000 times with a minigun. They had insult to injury. They made it so the knife is breakable. Yeah, you have to earn an infinite knife by running around the city and getting all these Uncle Nutsy fuckface Mr. Raccoon statues. And even then, you could stab a zombie with your knife, run away, and lose it. These zombies on hardcore, they want you really bad. They will lunge at you even after you've passed them and chase you across the map. Fuck, they'll even chase you through doors. For as hard as the zombies are, damn does it feel good to pull off a decap. With how much the zombies move around, it's hard to get a headshot, but it's worth it when you put them down. I'm sure this scene with Marvin was supposed to be a little bit serious, but there was only one thing I could think of, and I couldn't help but laugh.
Oh, what the fuck's happening? Oh, man. Oh, man, I shot Marvin in the face. Why the fuck did you do that?
The remake is pretty faithful to the original, but it does make some major changes. The one that really bothers me is Claire's personality. In the original, she's a strong character, but she's still fairly young. In the remake, she's basically fucking Superman. Remember how she used to get her gun from the cop car when she's with Leon? The remake, she's already packing heat when she gets into town. She just hops off her Harley and is ready to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
I guess she can relax to some Dingo brand cigarettes. Apparently that's the brand I endorse. Say no to smoking, kids. Then she just turns her back on a massive horde of zombies like, ain't no shit. Or as she says at the beginning of the game,
I know how to take care of myself.
she's like 19 and busts up in this police station like she's on a mission from the fucking Justice League, here to save everyone. I could easily see how this Claire might exist later in the series, but this is like the first time she's ever seen a zombie, and handles it like it's nothing.
I can't just leave you here. Fucking kidding me. You're her mother. Get in here. This conversation is over.
The funny thing is that even Sherry thinks it's bullshit that Claire is up her ass.
Why are you doing this?
I'm still trying to figure that out.
Because I care.
When it comes to fighting bosses, she just balls out.
I got this. You don't know what you're up against. I have a pretty damn good idea. Whatever you do, don't stop until it's finished. Trust me. This ends now.
Holy fuck, talk about over the top. Now I can see how that might make sense for Leon's character as a young police officer still full of ideals and a desire to serve the community, but Claire is a college student. She just found herself in a shitty situation. Like I said in Code Veronica, she turns into a total badass after she walks away from Resident Evil 2, but in the remake she just starts out as Russell Crowe in Gladiator.
Are you not entertained?
On the flip side of that, Leon's character seems a little more vulnerable, which better matches his lack of experience. The remake also starts by telling you Chris isn't here. I guess they figured Kat's already out of the bag, so why waste any time on it? For the most part, the police station is close to the original with a few changes here and there. The second floor can be accessed with a stairwell at any time, and a few rooms have been modified. The area that had the statue puzzle is completely blocked off, and the east side's been tweaked just a little bit. The first major change is this medallion puzzle area that didn't exist at all in the original. My one major gripe is that the boss battles take way too much ammo on hardcore. It feels like I saved all of my ammo just so I could waste it here. Fuck! I do like the graphic upgrade for Birkin. He looks pretty real in this form. Some of the conversations Claire has with Sherry here are real awkward.
So, what's your mom like?
Single? It's like every time Sherry talks, I'm like, what the fuck? Wow.
So what's the first thing you want to do when we get out of here?
Go to the amusement park, play a game, eat a cheeseburger.
I want to see where you live.
Well, that was fucking creepy. What do you want to do second? Wear her face? Oh, this bitch is all fucked up in a world full of zombies. Whoever would have thought that? I never would have guessed with all the million fucking zombies I saw today and my dad trying to fucking eat me that she'd be all fucked up.
What happened to her?
Oh, I've seen this one before. She's going into labor, yeah. Claire sees some fucked up stuff, so I have a hard time believing this close magical bond the two of them have in the remake. Like, this is the first 30 minutes of the game. It's some pretty grotesque shit, but, oh, Sherry, oh, I'm gonna move the stars for you. I just don't fucking buy it.
Everything's under control.
No, man, nothing is fucked here.
Right. Somehow they made Annette even more unlikable in the remake. She constantly makes decisions that just seem callous and unnecessary. Sherry is basically just a drug mule for her and the G virus.
You'll never get your filthy hands on the G.
That's what she said? Leon and Ada still follow a pretty similar path, but Ada might play up the subterfuge a little bit more in a bid to match who her character has become. The sewer area and the lab are also completely redone. The sewer feels more realistic, and the chess puzzle is a little more involved than the original. You also get a second trip into the streets of Raccoon City. You wouldn't want to miss out on the spectacular stained glass window. Totally worth the trip. Just like in the first game, there's a section with the support characters. It's kind of interesting the first time you go through it, but I wish I could skip it in later playthroughs. They did a good job with making Sherry's section scary. Chief Irons is a genuine psychopath in this game.
You come with me now, or say goodbye to Claire.
I'm coming, Sherry!
Here's Johnny!
There's kind of a Quentin Tarantino moment in Claire's story with this orphanage. Not sure why they did it that way, but it works. Now, if there's one thing I would remove from this game, it's this Birkin Fight. It feels excessive. It's gimmicky and unnecessary. You're in too tight of an area to fight in, and the crane takes way too long to come over. It's also way too easy to get hit by it if your timing isn't perfect. This Birkin gets up pretty fast. The remake just has too many Birkin fights, almost in a T-1000 territory. Huh, I wonder if he's really dead this time, just like last time. Better question, I wonder if I care. The answer's still no, by the way. Another major change is Mr. X. In the original, the Tyrant would only show up in the second playthrough, but now he's pretty much there from early on in the game. When you play as Claire, you'll eventually get this guy off your back, but with Leon, he's there to chase you until the end. I gotta say, he's one of the scariest parts of the game. His footsteps and surround sound are some serious shit. They also upgraded his appearance from the original. The Tyrant was pretty bland, and you could lose him by going through most of the doors, but now Mr. X looks like Steven Seagal in a noir film and will chase you into most rooms. He's a real tenacious son of a bitch. There are a few places he can't go, and it's easy to abuse. What the fuck was that? There are a few rooms that he can't get into, probably to make you feel safe, I guess, but just because he can't go in there, don't get too comfortable. It certainly doesn't mean that he can't reach you. Well, I had that one coming. Fighting the old Tyrant was kind of hit or miss. You had to waste some ammo, but you could also pick up grenade rounds off him when you were done. This one just gets pissed off, and it makes him move faster. You may as well not waste any rounds on him because he's wearing some sort of Steven Seagal trench coat that deflects bullets.
Take that to the bank.
Easily the hardest part of the game is this section with Leon. When you come back to the station, there are a ton of lickers and standard zombies. Claire has the acid rounds, but pretty much nothing in Leon's arsenal slows these guys down. The lickers are like honey badgers, and honey badgers don't give a shit. This back hallway where you have to use the club key, I think it traumatizes me every time. Make sure you save before you come here with Leon, and thank me later. Your best bet is to pick off the lickers through a door, and then clear out all of the standard zombies. Mr. X is gonna find you when you come in here, and you need to have a clear path to run. On hardcore, you can basically get hit for free once, and then the second hit kills you unless you're using the defense buff. Pretty rough. Some cool moments from the original were brought back here again. I've even seen Mr. X tear down the wall from the press room. If you want to spring a few bucks on DLC, you can actually play the remake with the original game soundtrack. That's pretty cool, but the new soundtrack is good in its own right too if you don't like the old music.
That's bullshit! They came in here to play goddamn songs for kids! Now who you bullshit?
They play a lot better than you, man. Your
They play
music's
now the
for old
goddamn
people.
kiddie music!
Your music's for old
Hey
people,
look,
buddy.
fat man, you don't know what music's all about!
There are some new features. The porta-safes are kind of neat. They use the controller's speaker and lights. And every now and then a mission update would appear on the screen. I don't like this. It just breaks the immersion and it feels like it's leading me. Now, I thought the chemical puzzle was pretty good. Kind of reminds me of the oil levels in Code Veronica, or the fountain puzzle in Die Hard with a Vengeance. I thought it was odd we have to manually discard unneeded keys. It is slightly more realistic. Some things are tweaked from the original, like the red gem is used completely different now. For a while, the gun names have steered away from real guns, probably to avoid getting sued. Not a big deal, but I do prefer the real names. Some of these records were too specific. The cube or the chemical puzzle won't give you the record if you do it better than the requirement. It has to be exact. The plant enemies got upgraded. They're still pretty scary. They got this instant kill move, so you really don't want to get grabbed by them. They also remind me of the regenerators in Resident Evil 4. I feel like Claire's story is a bit easier than Leon's. He gets the more skill-based weapons and the harder travel path. They also make him fight one of these monsters before he gets to the flamethrower area. These guys are tough if you're low on ammo. Claire can get an upgrade for her starting pistol, which makes it a real powerhouse. You need HP rounds and the HP barrel, but it gives you a great option for tight situations. Even with the option, I found I would hoard these rounds up since I didn't want to waste them, or as Paul Harrell would put it,
because I'm loaded with my Hurtenberger Buscadero Taikondas, and I don't want to shoot my Taikondas.
Except this zombie up these stairs. That bitch gets a Taikonda. It does pay off to save them because they do great damage to the bosses. The upgrade is so good, it makes the semi-auto pistol she gets almost pointless as long as you're careful with your shots. Leon's shotgun upgrade is incredible. It's a real Zombie Slayer 5000 if you use it for headshots. I had a bit of fun using the rocket launcher and the minigun. That's why you clear the fatal funnel, bitches. They did a good job making the worlds match that original 1990s look. They stray a little bit in the lab area with the advanced tech, but hey, at least you're not walking around with a fucking smartphone like in Resident Evil 6. I do like how Umbrella uses Microsoft Outlook. Don't you know the company can read these, dude?
Warning. You have dispersed a dangerous solution without authorization. Your actions have been logged, and you may be subject to disciplinary measures.
Think that's a threat? If you think you can make my fucking life any worse, you go right ahead. Be my fucking guest. Take a shot.
At first I was skeptical of using the RE4 controls, but they won me over by staying true to the spirit of the original. Even if you never played the first Resident Evil 2, the remake is a solid game in its own right. With Resident Evil 3 around the corner, hopefully they can stay true to this model and not go off the rails. And until next time, keep on playing.